Hi, I'm Dwayne Brown. Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, President Obama says it's time to end the debate and do something about climate change. We'll have details of the plan he unveiled today in Washington.
I'm Peggy Pico. The immigration reform bill moves forward, but at a projected $38 billion cost to taxpayers. How the costly border surge amendment could impact a vote in the House. And a new interactive website helps save water and money. Why San Diego is preparing for another drought.
And a San Diego company taking on some very big competition in the world of online music. We'll give a listen to Slacker Radio. KPBS Evening Edition starts now. Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining us. President Obama says it's time to take action on climate change, and he unveiled a plan today to battle global warming. It takes aim at a big source of heat-trapping gases, America's coal-fired power plants. Our coverage begins with Mark Smith of the Associated Press.
President Obama says climate change isn't pausing for a gridlocked Congress, so it's time for him to take up arms.
As a president, as a father, and as an American, I'm here to say we need to act.
On a steamy day in the nation's capital, Obama said whether it's paying the bill for destructive and deadly storms or battling the effects of runaway fires and drought, Americans are too busy dealing with human-caused warming to deny it.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
At the heart of his plan, coal-fired power plants. For the first time, Obama aims to cap how much heat-trapping gas they produce.
Astonishingly, we don't have federal rules right now to limit that pollution. Power plants are free to pump as much of this into the air as they want.
Obama's also opening more federal lands to wind and solar power and setting new efficiency standards for appliances and federal buildings. Mostly environmentalists welcomed the plan, though some grumbled it should have come sooner. And meantime, critics in Congress say those power plant rules are but the latest front in Obama's war on coal.
He may as well call his plan what it is, a plan to ship jobs overseas.
While others say the consumer will pay for more job-killing bureaucracy.
Regulatory activities which we believe are unnecessary because carbon releases in the United States today are going down primarily due to the use of clean-burning natural gas.
In fact, some of these rules will take years to implement. But there is an immediate question whether to build the Keystone XL oil pipeline from Canada. Republicans love Keystone, but environmentalists call it a carbon bomb. Soon the State Department will rule on that political hot potato. Mark Smith, The Associated Press, the White House.
San Diego environmentalists are welcoming the president's action plan. KPBS reporter Susan Murphy has that part of the story.
San Diego faces a range of climate change impacts if current warming trends continue. Scientists project within 3 decades, sea level could rise 12 to 18 inches. San Diego's average temperature could increase up to 4 degrees Fahrenheit, and the region is on track for severe water shortages and more wildfires. Masada Dizenhouse is a climate change activist and a leader of San Diego 350.org. She says she welcomes President Obama's plan of action, but wishes he would have expressed more urgency.
We've already increased 0.8 degrees Celsius, and scientists estimate that we have another 0.8 degrees in the pipeline already from the amount of carbon we've put in the atmosphere in the last several decades. So we're already at 1.6, so we've only got 0.4 to go.
2 degrees Celsius has been the threshold to avoid climate change's catastrophic effects. Dizenhouse believes there's still time to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and turn things around. She says San Diego is doing a lot of things right.
We're #1 in rooftop solar. We've got something like 23,000 home installations of rooftop solar, and we have potential for a lot more.
Dizenhouse hopes San Diegans will take a cue from the president and get involved in preserving the environment. Susan Murphy, KPBS News.
U.S. Supreme Court will issue its ruling tomorrow on Proposition 8, California's ban on same-sex marriage. The justices convene at 7 a.m. our time to issue their final rulings for this season. KPBS will have complete coverage throughout the day, starting on the radio during Morning Edition and Here and Now. We'll also have local analysis at noon on Midday Edition. Then join us on KPBS Evening Edition at 5 and 6:30 for a full wrap-up on the Prop 8 decision tomorrow, with more analysis on PBS NewsHour at 7. Today, the justices announced a split decision on a key provision of the Voting Rights Act. The majority said it cannot be enforced until Congress comes up with a new formula to determine where elections need federal monitoring. The justices said the act depends on old data and doesn't reflect changes in society. The immigration reform bill is moving through the Senate and seems poised for approval. Peggy Pico explains the next steps and how likely it is to pass in the House.
A bipartisan vote in the Senate on Monday pushed the immigration reform bill forward and approved a costly amendment for increased border security. Here with details about the Hoeven-Corker amendment and its likely impact on the bill's approval in the House is University of San Diego political science professor David Shirk. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Professor Shirk, remind us of some of the top controversial issues in this immigration reform bill.
Well, the bill seeks to achieve essentially four things. One is to reduce the backlog in immigration applications to the United States to get people moving in more efficiently. Two is to strengthen border security as a way of preventing unwanted, undocumented flows into the country. And three is to begin to establish a path to citizenship for people who are here illegally, the roughly 11 million people who are undocumented. And lastly, workplace enforcement to make sure that we are properly enforcing our immigration laws within the United States.
And so far, the pathway to amnesty and the border security seems to be getting a lot of attention right now. But let me talk about the what the Senate approved. Now, the Senate approved the 1,200-page Hoeven-Corker amendment, typically called the border surge, that calls for 20,000 more Border Patrol agents, doubling the current force, and 700 miles of additional border fence at a total cost to the taxpayers of $38 billion. Is this necessary?
Well, many people believe that the border is out of control, even though we have, in the last 20 years, allocated 20,000 Border Patrol agents to help sustain our immigration enforcement. My view is that it is not necessarily, we don't know if it's necessary if the immigration reform effectively redirects those flows of undocumented people into legal channels. So, but it does seem like it's a politically necessary step in order to get everyone on board. And if that's the case, then it may be a good compromise.
Well, it does seem to be putting the cart before the horse slightly. But I heard Juan Vargas also say that, you know, basically that this is something attached to the bill that you just might have to swallow if you want the bill to go through. I've also read that illegal immigration from Mexico into the U.S. is at a 40-year low. What does that say to you about this sort of border surge?
Well, it tells us, first of all, that the factors that drive immigration, and particularly undocumented immigration, are economic. And we're at a 40-year low in our economy. We don't know if, as our economy improves, we'll see more people coming back into the United States from Mexico. Mexico's economy has actually been doing fairly well. It's not clear that border security is the reason why we've seen this 40-year low.
Well, let's talk about this amendment some more. It passed in the Senate but didn't reach the 70 votes. Tell us why those 70 votes are important and how that might influence how the House votes.
Well, for a couple of reasons. One is you want to show just broad political support within the Senate. Two, you want to make sure that you can beat a filibuster if necessary. And while there is very strong support in the Senate, it's still not clear that this bill is going to make it out of the Senate, nor is it clear that the House will ultimately back the Senate's bill or even a similar version of that bill.
A Gallup poll this month reported that 87% of the respondents support the pathway to citizenship in this bill. Would that sort of overwhelming public support be enough to sort of push both the House and the Senate to pass this?
Well, I think the American people believe that being a citizenship and a stakeholder in our society is important, and that's very clear from that poll. But people are also very divided. They're very concerned about things like border security, and depending on how you ask the question, they may be more or less comfortable with a specific type of legislation. That said, I think that it's very clear that this is a problem that has gone on far too long. Many people want to see action now, and this is probably the best moment we have seen in 2 decades for serious immigration reform.
Tell us one way, if the immigration bill ultimately passes, the House, the Senate, the President signs it, how would it directly impact immigrants in San Diego?
Immigrants all over the country, of course, would finally move out of the shadows. They would finally be able to go to apply for a job. They'd be able to go to schools, et cetera, and they would essentially be able to live like ordinary people in the United States. And in the long run, I think that's a good thing.
All right. Political science professor David Shirk, thanks so much for the update.
Great. Thank you.
A new poll shows the approval rating for San Diego Mayor Bob Filner has slipped slightly in recent weeks. The survey by UT San Diego and our media partner 10 News shows 39% of people approved of how Filner's doing his job. It's down just a point from a poll done in February. Filner's disapproval rating also dropped, while the number of folks who say they're not sure actually went up. The county district attorney has formally dismissed kidnapping and rape charges against a San Diego man serving life in prison. He was wrongfully convicted of grabbing a woman in Lemon Grove and sexually assaulting her, but it turned out to be a case of mistaken identity.
It was a terrible experience, and one I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy.
It's a new lease on life for 33-year-old Uriah Courtney, who served 8 years of a life sentence for a crime new DNA testing determined was committed by someone who looked like him.
I'm just grateful to be out and grateful to the Innocence Project for everything that they've done on my case.
Justin Brooks is director of the project at San Diego's California Western School of Law. He says it's hard to look at someone like Courtney and say he's a lucky man.
But he was lucky that the evidence wasn't thrown out. He was lucky that his case caught our eye as a weak case of identification. He was lucky that we got cooperation from the DA's office, and he was lucky ultimately to be exonerated.
Courtney still faces drug charges from a separate case, but he's now the 9th person to be freed from prison by the Innocence Project. His lawyer, Alyssa Burkholz, says it's all bittersweet.
For every client we get out, there's another one in there that we really, really believe in that we have not been able to get out.
About 1 out of every 1,000 cases they review is exonerated. And last year, their client Brian Banks was cleared of sexual assault charges after serving 10 years in prison. He could be playing football this year for the Atlanta Falcons.
Now, it was newer DNA testing on the victim's clothing that helped identify a man who looked like Courtney, who also lived within 3 miles of the crime scene. Closing arguments were heard today in a trial about yoga in Encinitas schools. Some parents say yoga classes promote Hinduism. They started protesting at Encinitas Union School Board meetings last fall, and some parents sued the district today. Their attorney says efforts to remove possibly religious language from the classes was confirmation religion was there in the first place.
The names of some of the poses were changed. Big deal. They stopped using some of the Sanskrit terms. Big deal. They stopped posting the Ashtanga tree on the wall. While that was concerning, it doesn't fundamentally change what they taught.
An attorney representing the school district says the health and wellness program has no religious component.
The district didn't strip out religion. The district started without any religion, but when parents objected, the district attempted to accommodate the parents' concerns and remove those things the parents thought might be religious.
The yoga classes began last fall after Encinitas schools got a $500,000 grant from KP Joyce Foundation. The foundation promotes Ashtanga yoga. Well, for the second year in a row, California ranks 41st in the nation in a report on children's well-being. The nonprofit group Children Now looked at 16 different areas from economics to teen pregnancy. California did worse than the national average in 10 of those measures. A separate report tonight says San Diego is doing better than the rest of the state in getting kids to the dentist. The study looks at kids on Medi-Cal. Statewide, nearly 60% didn't see a dentist in 2011, but San Diego children were 20% more likely to see a dentist. We have more on both studies online at kpbs.org. San Diego City Council has approved a contract extension with a company providing ambulance service. The average cost of an ambulance trip is expected to go up to more than $1,800. The city says agencies in other areas charge between $1,200 and $2,300. The contract extension takes effect Monday. And a low snowpack in the Sierra Nevada and Colorado River basins means less water for San Diego. Peggy Pico finds out how a new website could help homeowners conserve.
As of today, there are no new water use restrictions in the county, but San Diego's dry, hot summer and far below normal snowpack from our main source of water, the Colorado River Basin, means there could be if we don't better manage our water supply right now. My guest, Jason Foster with the San Diego County Water Authority and Elizabeth Ramos with the Water Conservation Garden in El Cajon, are here with a few innovative ways to be water efficient. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, Jason, I want to start with you. So we said that there's no restrictions in the county, but there are a few in the city. For instance, I believe we have some permanent water restrictions that deal with time of day.
Correct. There are various water use ordinances around the county and the city based on the local jurisdictions, generally to keep you from avoiding waste by watering in the middle of the day and things like that. The good news is that our water supplies are stable enough that there are no new water use restrictions this summer because of the dry winter that we've had.
But are we anticipating any? Is that why we're kind of sort of gearing up, like even though there's no restrictions right now, we're not saying go out and, hose down your driveway?
Now, actually, the water supply situation for San Diego County is pretty good right now because we have lots of water in storage from the last wet winter that we've had, and per capita water use around the region has actually dropped significantly over the last 5 years. So we're really stretching the available supplies that we have.
Yes, it has. Specifically, we've learned our lesson, it seems, from that 2007 drought. Since then, water use has remained about a third less per person per day, dropping from 211 gallons back in the drought years to 144 gallons right now of use per person per day. So, Jason, what do you attribute that drop to?
Well, it's really attributable to several things. As I mentioned, I think people have gotten the conservation message that it's the right thing to use water wisely in San Diego County because of our climate and being at the end of the pipe. You always have to use it efficiently. We also have, seen, there's always been effects also from, we had a couple of wet winters that suppressed demand a little bit, and we also unfortunately suffered the circumstances of the economic downturn, which also suppressed water demands a little bit. But
people were trying to save money on their bills.
That's correct.
Okay.
But the good news is that now that we've gotten into drier weather and the economy is improving, water use is still staying well below our pre-drought levels, so people are still conserving.
Okay. And Elizabeth, you're with the Water Conservation Garden, and it's a beautiful garden. I've been there. Tell us what it is and how it helps people use water more efficiently.
Sure. Well, education is our specialty at the garden. We're a nearly 6-acre facility that showcases the beauty of drought-tolerant plants. People have this sort of misconception that water-smart landscapes are just cactus and rocks, and it couldn't be further from the truth. We showcase plants from Mediterranean climate countries throughout the world, which includes Australia, Chile, South Africa. They all have similar climates to what we have here in San Diego, so their plant palette, their plants thrive in San Diego just as they do in their home countries. And we have classes that show people how to start a water-wise garden. We have landscape designers that can come out and sit and do a one-on-one consultation with an individual to look at a person's current landscape and where they want to be and show them how to get there.
And right now it's Dog Days of Summer. Tell me what that is.
It's Dog Days of Summer right now. Every Wednesday during the summer months, June through the end of August, we allow people to bring a leashed canine friend, 1 or 2 or 3, it doesn't matter, and walk through the garden. The garden's a beautiful stroll in the balmy summer evenings.
All right. And I want to get to this. The Water Authority has a new website, watersmartsd.org. It's very interactive. It includes a water use calculator, and rebate programs are talked about on there. Tell us about a few of those programs. Are any of them still available?
Yes, we have rebates available for both indoor and outdoor water use efficiency measures. For example, on the indoor side, there are rebates available for buying a more water efficient clothes washer. On the outdoor side, we have a turf replacement rebate program that commercial or residents can get up to $1.50 per square foot off for turf that they've replaced with a more water efficient landscape.
So they're there, so go to the website and interact. Elizabeth, let me ask you this. We're expecting really high temperatures in the coming week here, in the hundreds. How do we save our gardens right now while conserving water? What's the best way?
Okay, well, when it is hot, you do have to water. So people want to check their irrigation, make sure it's working efficiently. And also when it gets super hot, they want to be watering in the morning, so before 8 a.m. or in the evening after 5 p.m. That way the water that they are applying to the plants is not evaporating. And if you can get some good drip irrigation or bubblers that are putting the water right at the roots of the plant, that's the ideal situation.
All right. Well, there's certainly a lot of information. They can go to your website, and they can also go to our website, kpbs.org, for links and more information. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Millions of smartphone-toting music fans have ditched the idea of owning what they listen to. Now, when they want a steady stream of tunes, they turn to online music services. So far, the fledgling music streaming business has been dominated by enterprising startups. Now, tech giants like Apple and Google are hoping to wedge their way into the market. KPBS science and technology reporter David Wagner shows us how a small San Diego company plans to take on the brand name competition.
When Sun Vo works out, he needs a beat. And he gets his musical motivation through online radio. But he doesn't listen to one of the big services like Pandora. The option to play music offline is why Vo listens to Slacker Radio.
So what's so great about Slacker's offline play? It's no distractions, you don't need to use your data, it's me, my music, and a couple miles.
Slacker is the product of a scrappy little company based in Rancho Bernardo. Vo also likes that Slacker sounds a lot like trusty old FM radio, which is exactly what Slacker set out to do, according to Senior Vice President Jack Isquith.
Where we were going to marry the best of old school radio, where we had experts curating music, with this technology that gave users a lot of control.
Slacker sets itself apart by offering stations hosted by real people, many of them former radio DJs with cult followings. That's how Slacker drew in Kristen Nielsen. She's a longtime fan of John Reese, the purveyor of obscure punk and bizarre soul who hosts a show called Swami Sound System.
When I found out that his show wasn't going to be on the radio anymore, I was sad and kept watching for something online, and then Slacker I saw had him, and I went, oh, definitely got to get that app.
Slacker hires lots of music obsessives to oversee their content, like the guy who programs their electronic music channels.
Hey, I'm your Slacker DJ, Party Ben.
My real name is Ben Gill, yes, that's right. My parents did not name me Party. They didn't see me come out and know immediately that this guy was going to DJ.
Party Ben won his reputation as a mashup pioneer, making unholy matrimonies like this union between Fugazi and Destiny's Child. These days, Ben spends his time poring over charts that track how Slacker users respond to different songs. Today, he's seeing lots of people pressing the little heart button when they hear the new Daft Punk song. So he knows he better put the new Daft Punk song into heavy rotation. But just like radio DJs of yore, he's still allowed to stick a few divisive songs in his playlists. Like this new song from Swedish duo The Knife.
I can take their information, I can say, you know what, all you people who are voting to ban and get rid of this song, you are wrong. This song is great, and I believe in it, and I'm going to put it in the A category until you change your mind.
Slacker finds that their listeners like the occasional curveball, and you don't really get curveballs with other online music players. Spotify gives you almost complete control over what you hear, and Pandora uses formulas to predict which songs you'll like based on your general tastes. Both Spotify and Pandora draw tens of millions of listeners every day. Slacker is tiny by comparison, with just about 5 million active listeners. But they've managed to stay afloat in the highly competitive world of online radio since 2007, practically a century in startup years. Bad news is, they're about to face even bigger competition.
But today, we're introducing an amazing way to discover new music, and we call it iTunes Radio.
Starting this fall, Slacker will have to go toe-to-toe with Apple, the Goliath of tech. Google also rolled out an online music player a few weeks ago. But Isquith thinks Slacker is here to stay. He's heard dire predictions about online music underdogs before, yet Slacker is still standing.
And if you think about Apple, what we think is that something similar is probably going to happen. There's going to be a whole bunch of people, a next wave of people who are interested in music on their devices online, who are going to start to think about online radio, who have never thought about online radio before.
And when they size up the competition, Isquith hopes they'll choose Slacker. Of course, Apple's entrance could easily cut the other way. Even Slacker devotees like Sun Vo say they're intrigued by iTunes Radio.
I have an iPhone, I have an iPad. I'm definitely going to check it out just because I'm used to Apple. I like Apple products.
Vo isn't alone. One consumer poll shows a third of online music listeners would switch to iTunes Radio based on the Apple name alone. David Wagner, KPBS News.
And you can find tonight's stories and download the KPBS app all on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. You have a great night.